We are filming all the free video tutorials on the Husqvarna Viking Onyx 25 sewing machine so you can master this machine from beginning to end. Now, when we did our threading of the machine video, we did include how to insert a bobbin and kind of some tips of winding a bobbin, so we'll definitely hook right up back here if you want to watch the full video. But let's talk about inserting this bobbin correctly and what happens if you don't get it in correct. So first off, as this bobbin has already been wound, one little neat trick is that when it was winding, the direction this machine spins to wind this bobbin, if you are filling a bobbin, you can pull straight up off the bobbin winder and drop it directly into the bobbin case. That is the correct way, based on the little picture that shows on the door, of which way that bobbin needs to spin. It actually, as I pull it, needs to spin counterclockwise. If you've got it flipped over, things don't work as well. So yes, that is something you really need to make sure you are dropping this bobbin in correctly. And if you hadn't just wound a bobbin and you were just pulling a bobbin that was already filled from your drawer or your container, that you need to make sure that that thread is properly coming off the left side, which means it spins counterclockwise. Next, Husqvarna Viking has made it so simple to make sure that you get the thread placed in the right area by giving us these white arrows to follow. I also like to put my finger on this bobbin when I'm about ready to come underneath that little black area. Under here, there's a little notch that the thread is going to get clicked into, and that is the tension area of and for your bobbin thread. So even though you don't really see it, what it's doing is guiding you to come far enough this way with your thread, laying it down there, but if you hold your bobbin, you kind of hear a little click. Not much, it's not real distinct, but you can feel like right here, the thread is much tighter than when it was just sitting loose in the bobbin case area. After you've kind of clicked it underneath, follow the path over the top. There's a little U-turn arrow, and then it has you come down to this area here. Now underneath, when you slide your thread underneath there, that's a cutter. And sometimes what I like to tell my students is before you cut it, if you put the cover of the bobbin case area door back on, then cut it, it just keeps everything right where it needs to be. So you don't have to do it that way, but I always tend to do it because you can even see that that thread is laying right where you left it. Then when you put fabric in to start to sew, your first stitch is going to pull up this bobbin thread. So if you're used to other machines where you've had to like hold onto this and take a stitch and pull the bobbin thread up, on this machine you actually don't have to do that. So I'm going to just put my fabric underneath the foot, lower the foot on the fabric, and just sew, and that tail that we left underneath is just long enough to be brought up into that very first stitch. So as I pull it out, now we have both those threads on the top and you are ready to continue on. Now you can like hold on to these or just push them to the back. Just make sure the top thread's kind of in this little groove here towards the back of the machine. You can even be over here at 9 o'clock as I kind of tell my students. So if the threads are over here on the side, then you lower the presser foot down, and when you start to sew, you don't have to hold on to those. But it's so nice with the bobbin that it actually has the perfect length for you to pull it up automatically when you go to take your first stitch. Now do make sure that you get in the habit. You didn't see me do it before, but before I took my fabric out to cut, I made sure to bring the needle all the way to the highest position, but also to bring the take-up lever to the highest position. Then when you pull it out, your stitch is complete, and then when you start to sew, you don't have to hold those threads each time you start. And the machine is just happier that way. So I hope you'll check out all of our videos that we have done on this beautiful machine. And there's links below to our online classes as well. The Husqvarna Viking Stitching Cosmos is a wonderful class that we feature lots of different techniques. Every block is a different technique. So if you want to learn this machine even more, check out the free videos to see if that course is right for you.